So you enter input into a page and you see it reflected. Naturally, probably thinking, this should work. You try a payload, nothing happens. You try again, still nothing. This is confusing because you can clearly see your input. It's right there. So why isn't it doing anything? At this point, folks, most people assume I just need the right payload. Have you ever been there? So of course they try different variations, different syntax, different tricks, but nothing changes because the problem isn't what you're typing. Problem is where it's going. Up until now, you've been focused on input, but input is only the beginning. What matters is the path that it takes, because every piece of data follows a flow, and if you don't see that flow, everything starts to feel random. Every XSS situation follows this path. User input, source, processing, sync, execution. So let's break that down. Source. This is where your input enters. Anywhere you can control data, a form, a URL parameter, a cookie, a header, that's a source. Here's some important insight. A source is not dangerous. It's just data. This is where people make their first mistake. They think if I can control the input, I can control the execution. That's simply not true. The real question is, where does that input end up? Well, that place is called a sink. A sink is where your input is interpreted, rendered, or executed. Let's look at a simple example. If your input lands here, the browser treats it as HTML. Execution's possible. Now look at this. Now your input is just a string. No execution. Same input, different sink, different result. This is the moment things usually click. From your perspective, I typed the same thing, but from the browser's perspective, this is completely different because the sink decides how your input is interpreted, what it's allowed to become, whether execution is even possible. This is exactly why payload guessing fails, because each sink has different rules, expects different structure, behaves differently. Some sinks execute immediately. Others require interaction. Others still only work in specific contexts. So when a payload fails, it's not random. It's literally telling you this is not the right place. Think about it like this. A source gives you access. A sink gives you possibility. You can control input all day long, but if it never reaches the right sink, nothing's going to happen. This is why you can see your input, modify your input, even reflect your input, and still get no execution, because reflection isn't execution. Let's walk through this mentally. You enter input, you see it appear on the page. Instead of asking, what payload should I try? Ask, where did this land? What kind of sink is this? How will the browser interpret it? Now your thinking starts changing. You're not guessing anymore. You're analyzing. This is why the alert is not the exploit, because the alert only tells you execution happened once. But sources and sinks tell you why it happened, where it happened, and how to make it happen again. Now everything connects. Source, sink, execution. If you understand this, you can start predicting behavior. If you don't, you're stuck guessing. If there's one thing to carry forward, sources show where data enters. Sinks show where it becomes dangerous. And once you understand both, XSS stops feeling random. Folks, if this made sense, you're right at the edge of it clicking. But this is the part where most people fall back into guessing. Don't. I built a simple XSS execution kit that helps you trace source, sink, execution, so you can actually see what's happening, not just try payloads and hope. Go ahead and grab it below.